Welcome.
Happy Thursday, everybody.
Yes, it is Thursday. It is a regular scheduled time show. Everything's ready to go. The stars have aligned. I'm ready to roll.
And look at the big smile on Nick's face. He's doing that because he was appreciating my dancing during the intro today.
Oh, yes. Yeah. We had another just a great crushing the green screen pregame show here, I think.
We need to start putting some of those up on YouTube as well.
I know. We'd have to yeah. I don't... It would be great. I think they would do better than the actual shows. But anyway, we're here. What's going on? Banter. It is above freezing in where I live. The snow has mostly melted. There are still some rogue snow piles here and there. There's a little bit of ice on the ponds and stuff here, but we're above freezing. What about you?
Well, we went from 72 on Monday. No, Tuesday. No, Monday. We went to 72 on Monday to like 29 on Tuesday, 56 on Wednesday. And then I don't know. I'd have to look and see what we are today. It's been freaking crazy, man. Yeah. Stupid weather.
I think we're on a verge of that as we have some severe weather warnings where we're on the tail end of this incoming cold front, but we have a lot of warm weather right now. So I think we're going to be below freezing here again soon too. So
I don't know who gave weather the whiskey, but it needs to go home. It's drunk.
Yeah.
It doesn't know what it wants to do.
What did the groundhog do this year? Did it go back? Did it see its shadow? I don't know.
I think it did, right? Because there were a lot of memes out there about, Mrs. Groundhog coming out and saying that he was a drunk and lies. So I don't know.
Yeah. What's going on with that? But it's definitely been a little bit a cold winter, let's just say. So I'm already looking forward towards spring and summer times and being able to go outside and not be -8 or whatever. So
yeah, I do want to do a little selfish promotion. Anybody's going to be in the Denver area, if you're going to the Air Force Association symposium next week, I will be at the symposium. So I'll be doing a panel talk on the acceleration of AI in the federal government. So if you're in the Fed and you're out there, come by and see me and the rest of the guys on the panel. We'll be there Monday. I think at 2:05 is when we start the panel. But yeah, 45-minute panel talking about AI and what it means with, the Secretary or Department of War's putting out their what they want to do with their AI policy moving forward in the military. So,
I bet that's a very interesting topic.
It is.
Right now. Yeah. So
there's a lot going on in that space. Keep your eyes open. I'll probably have some comments and stuff on that in the near future. But it's been interesting to watch. Some of the top frontier models and the government kind of having some disagreements on the way to use AI, but both sides have good points.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely something to keep an eye out. It's definitely come up in all the AI podcasts that I listen to of the, what's going on there. So keep in mind with that, but I guess let's just jump straight into it. If you've listened or watched our show last week or 2 weeks ago, we took a week off last week. I had a little kind of crazy schedule, but, we were talking OpenClaw. I was clodding with some OpenClaw experiments, kind of fussing around with getting OpenClaw itself pushed into it pushed as a CF app. There's some let's just say difficulties by doing that approach.
Nuances.
Nuances. You can kind of work around it, although I spent a lot of time trying to get that approach working. We can kind of recap some of that. But, the short story is that, it has some issues. And then I've got some new experiments, too, that we wanted to kind of dive into that I've been working on and some other topics. So I guess but before we get into that, I want to talk about, this project has gone from, and I don't know if we covered this last time, it's gone from basically nothing within 3 weeks to becoming with a mention in the ad on the Super Bowl to just incredible GitHub star action. And now the creator, Pete Steinberger, he's been doing the podcast tour of like all the huge podcasts, Tarcast, Lex Friedman, like I think every podcast that, obviously not ours, but every podcast that has could get him on would get him on. He's done a bunch of interviews. he started alluding to the fact that the big AI labs were let's just say interviewing him, or he was getting interviewed by, I think, like OpenAI and Meta, and strangely not Anthropic too, which we'll talk about that too in a second. I guess he's being wined and dined per se by AI labs, and it looks like he ended up go up with Sam Altman, and he's now joining OpenAI. The OpenClaw will be, I guess, either donated or moved into some foundation to continue the open source work there. But I think big win for OpenAI in this space, as this project just became huge, and ironically, it was really centered around Anthropic and Claude code starting out. And where did this start? It started, Anthropic's response to this whole thing has been, sending because the original product was called ClaudeBot, and cease and desist letter about the naming and legal issues. They never reached out to him, and then now you basically have this huge community pivoting to OpenAI. Pete Steinberger said multiple times too, like I moved to Codex, so you got the Codex versus Claude Code camp wars going on. Like, very interesting time there, but it seems like something that was just so teed up for Anthropic to make a huge bet on kind of has gone to OpenAI, and now they've, even to the point of Claude Code is banning accounts that are trying to use the OAuth based authentication and work around the API token consumption with OpenClaw agents and things like that. So that's becoming an issue.
Well, there's some nuances there, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
lots of nuances, but like
first and foremost, right? What Pete did, I mean, this is the definition of viral. I mean, this thing exploded in literally a week. It just blew the hell up. It gave people an idea of what personal AI agents could do. And so, I imagine every frontier, every company out there that does AI wants to talk to this guy, because even if it's negative, you can't buy the type of publicity that he got through the virality of what he did. It was a true firestorm. And Anthropic, they did a cease and desist. I don't know. Was it a missed opportunity? I guess time will tell, to be honest with you. But, one thing that a lot of people are out there complaining now, because Anthropic did, well, one, they released some updates to what their usage model was, and come to find out they put some bad stuff out there, and they came back really quick and said, no, that's not actually what we mean. But they are wanting to limit, commercial use. If you're going to be doing stuff commercial and you're trying to do it on the plan, they want you to come through. They want you to, be able to use the legitimate API, pricing, which I think is fair. That's completely fair. There's so much going on with AI. If you're going to use this to earn money, then, be fair in the way you use it. And I think that's what what Anthropic's really trying to come out and ask for here. But the docs leak, which wasn't quite correct, did cause quite a stir as well. Been seeing that blow up on Reddit and on other places and on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I guess, to be fair, I'm not trying to come up as a anti-Anthropic. I love me some Claude. I'm in Claude all the time. So
it's still my favorite model.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Still, I mean, and they just released Sonnet 4.6, which could potentially be very compelling still, even via API consumption. Just a lot of things happening. It's been, I feel like the pace of the industry now has gone to like ludicrous speed, right? It's impossible to follow, like so many things happening, and it's a wild time to watch this, let's just say. But
we've hit warp speed, and I keep I keep getting this image of Scotty back in the back of my head going, I'm giving her all she's gotten. No, you haven't, because every time I think, all right, now I can buckle in and we can enjoy the ride, boom, we get another burst. Here's something new. CloudBot was one of those. Let's go ahead and hit the afterburners on this thing. I mean, how fast can we go? I don't know. I don't know how you do it, Nick. I know how I try to keep up with it. And goddamn, it is almost impossible to keep up with the pace of change and innovations coming out of this space right now.
I don't think it's not really. I think the best you can do is, like, obviously, like, to me, podcasts help out a lot. And just I guess on a side note, sorry, I just hit my mic. Like, Twitter has become tech Twitter again to some degree. Now there's still some crazy Elon stuff happening there, but I feel like tech Twitter woke up again and like revived itself to some degree, where like at least my feeds have been like a lot of people like obviously doing stuff with with these AI related topics. But even that has become just really almost like it just like rebooted overnight, or like there was a dark time where like, you know, I did not see a lot of like crazy tech posts of like just nonstop tech posts, and that's interesting too to see that kind of come back. So
I need you to help me
interesting
on that,
vibes.
because I'm not seeing that with Twitter at all, or X.
Well, I think I even saw like a tweet. There's a thing like if you add like you have to update your app. There's like Elon said like if you do like for you and like you can select technology. And I haven't done that yet, but I was like, ooh, I like that, because like that's all I really want out of Twitter. Like I don't want the politics or anything. Like I just want my timeline to be tech stuff. Like that's
I'm gonna
all I
have to
want,
go look at that, because I mean, I'm gonna be a little crass here. I got off of Twitter. I thought it was a cesspool. I started trying to get back on it again. And man, all I'm seeing is Twitter's become, you know, it's become one of two things: people just asking Grok to do totally inappropriate things, or
No,
it's an OF advertisement forum right now is what I see. So I'm back off of it again. But if there's a way where I can cut all that crap out, then I would be happy to do that.
Yeah. Well, there's a glimmer of hope. I'll let you know. So
okay. Cool.
I guess getting out of the Twitter discussions, where are we at? So we talked about Pete Steinberger. We're trying to pick up, you know, where we left off. I think architecturally too. You know, even I've seen some other people experiment with this too. It's like, yeah, let's try to push this as a like OpenClaw as a CF app. It's like a Node app, right? Like how hard could it be? Well, yes, you can get it to work, but like the issues that I've seen, and I have a repo where I've kind of experimented on this. You can try to push it as a CF app. You can try to push it as a Docker app on CF, but it does a lot of WebSocket communications. And you brought this up last time, Nicky, too, where like you like the one repo I had where, okay, let's deploy the gateway as an app and then register nodes like agents as separate apps on CF. Have that backend network, have the nodes be only accessible on the CF internal network. Try to cut down the WSS stuff as much as possible. But even then, I still had a lot of issues with the nodes registering to the gateway dashboard and just a lot of like kind of, I don't know, weirdness happening there. And I was like, this is like you may be able to get this to work. How stable will this be? Unknown. Who knows? Whatever, that type of thing. And then I did have have a custom SSO proxy be built in front of it to do, you know, SSO integration to auth, because like auth was a little like, I would say loosey goosey or like non-existent, right? Now I think that a lot of patches has been fixed there too, where you can do some auth, or you can add a trusted proxy header in as well, or kind of go through there. So it's like, you know, rapid improvement, obviously, especially with it, you know, like if you look at the PRs on that project, and they're all sorted by, you know, like Claude bots. It just
well, I mean, a couple things there, Nick. First, I was a little skeptical because this thing was designed to run on the local machine, right? So trying to distribute that, I thought there were going to be some problems, and I think you did run into those. But you know, one of the things, and we were talking about this in the green room. We kind of buried on this one as Pete came out with a statement on LinkedIn, and I think I saw it on LinkedIn. I don't know if it's on LinkedIn or Twitter about, you know, using Java. That I don't know if Deshaun or Dan or anybody's on, but I saw some comments back to, you know, that I thought was interesting. I should try to look that up and bring it up.
Yeah. So that spawned another side project, but that basically, yeah. If you look out there, there's like a tweet by Pete about like for the like basically for the lulz or for the funds, like we should build an enterprise version of Java, and it'd be like, you know, 2 gig in size and all these beans and blah blah blah. And then I was kind of met with a strong, let's just say, how do we say, educational efforts about like how much Java has evolved, like how Java and like Spring AI has been like kind of leading in like the MCP space with Anthropic, and like written the Java SDK for that. Like there's a whole lot of like, I know I saw Josh Long. I think everyone from Tanzu replied. But
I think that's hilarious. I think Pete got a little full of himself. Yeah, you know, hey, this is a great project. It's a cute project, but when you start talking about Java, you just called my mama ugly, and we're gonna fight.
Yeah. Well, then, I mean, you know, I guess he can do whatever he wants, because the rumor is he's like, I mean, he already was pretty independently wealthy from selling his past company for over $100 million.
Yep.
I don't know what OpenAI paid this guy, but I'm sure it
was more than $1.
Yeah, more than $1, maybe close to $1 billion. I don't know. Yeah, he could probably just, whatever. So he's entitled to his opinion. He's earned that right. But we've kind of helped direct that route.
We'll call it educational content.
Yeah, exactly. So then also at the same time, it's like we kind of live in this age where like, I see software, open source software, or really any software. I don't really like XYZ about it, but I could just be like, hey, Claude, make me something that's like that, but like fits these purposes, right?
Yep.
So that's one side project I've been working on is JClaw, which is a Java inspired
another Claude name.
Another Claude. I'm gonna get a cease and desist from him now. Although no one's looked at this project and I have 0 stars. So I don't know if it actually works. This is just this is a very side by project that I just started, like I don't know. I wrote a few prompts, threw it some MD files and had it work away at it. And for the most part, it works. It's not really well tested, but it's the scaffolding of what I think it should be. But
if he does send you a letter, I want to be a part of that, right? Because no, screw you. We're VMware.
I mean, I'll take a settlement
names anytime we want to.
Yeah. I'll take a settlement and delete the project. That is totally probably whatever. But yeah, just yeah. So yeah, and then there's like IronClaw, or somebody wrote a fork in Rust around security, and I thought that was Iron and Rust was was it PicoClaw or Pike? So they somebody one of the I don't know, someone in China, some company wrote basically a fork of OpenClaw to run on Raspberry Pis, and they're gonna like ship it in Raspberry Pis versus Mac Minis or whatever. And I thought that was clever, but also like, ooh, security, like who knows where this software bill of materials is coming from, but like, give it all your credentials and see what this little Raspberry Pi device steals out of your life. But anyway, yeah, lots of things happening still in this space. So I've got a sidekick project, JClaw. We'll see where it goes, but it's written to be fully Cloud Foundry functional.
I definitely want to see this. I do want to state, right, with the huge explosion of what happened with Claude Bot and Molt and all of that good stuff. So a good friend of mine, Eric Paulson, who's the EMEA field CTO for Coder, he did the smart thing. He kind of held off a little bit. He saw that there were some security issues. So he went and wrote his own. Version. And it's not a fork. He used something called Blink and a bunch of open source tools, built this thing on a Mac Mini, and he documented the whole story of how he built his own personal agent and what it did for him. I'll put the link in the comments, in the notes, when this goes live. But it was an interesting read. He did a really good thing. And I think this is what we're going to see Claude do, which is one, AI assistance, personal AI assistance. I think this is going to be a new frontier, a new boundary that people are going to jump in. But I think we're just not only the forks of what's happening with CloudBot and OpenClaw and all of that, but just people discovering what you've done, Nick. You were talking in the green room. I can jump in and I can ask it to do some stuff, and it goes and creates all these things for me. I think we're going to start seeing people write their own Jarvises now.
Oh yeah, let me get the screen going here. But yeah, I think that too. On a side note, it's just kind of like, does that look okay? I think it looks okay.
Yeah, okay. Perfectly readable.
I've got it on the side screen, and I've got an RDP into this Linux box that I've been using as one of my Claude worker nodes. But yeah, if we go back to this repo here, so and I should find that tweet. I guess if somebody's watching that has that tweet, I didn't feel like digging through Twitter. But yeah. The JClaw, the Java inspired OpenClaw. This is completely from scratch as well, and you can kind of do spec driven development where you can tell Claude to say, hey, check out this repo, like write me a spec of this, like if I were to implement this in Spring and Spring Boot or whatever. And this is and also like a lot of like if you wanted to implement this in like OpenClaw itself, like there's so many things, right? Like it's not enterprise friendly, right? There's all kinds of things that like you don't want it to do, all these different like communication channels that would like never live, right? It's clearly consumer focused product. So I was kind of like, just focus on the enterprisey things. And this is kind of what it's built out now. It hasn't updated here, but you can take Slack, Teams, Discord, Google Chat, web chat, or REST API input, and it'll do all like the webhooks and the filters and the routing the inbound messages, and then mapping that to SSO. And you kind of get this here, right? And obviously I want to use all these GPUs in my basement because I cannot afford Anthropic API fees in addition to everything else I'm running. So to get that agent runtime, and then you have integrations with Redis, Prometheus, Postgres, all that stuff to do the session state and stuff. So this is just like a side hack. It kind of is working. I don't know. Obviously, this is just more of an experiment to see where this goes. Maybe I'll get it to working. Maybe I'll start using it. Maybe I'll integrate it into my Llama Chat Open Web UI clone that are at Java 2, or me, Claudius, or my friend Claude did. And then we can see what we can wire together. But it's just fun things to show, what you can run on CF. But yeah.
Well, and here's something that I think people are missing on this one, right? Is specializing these bots, because you brought up, hey, how do you write this in Spring Boot? Let's go back to conversations that we've had with Deshaun and Dan, right? Deshaun's a big fan. You always keep your Spring stuff up to date, and there's a lot of tools. There's Open Rewrite and all these tools out there to help you modernize these. I've got a demo where I have Claude go in and do that modernization for me. Taking an application from Java 8 to 21. Okay, we've got tools to do that. What's the big thing here? Well, the fact that I can stick an agent on this that can not only go and find and run the Open Rewrite tools for me, but it can also kind of help diagnose and fix the issues that come with that, because there's always a couple. Nothing works flawlessly. So think about what this means for the ability for people to do exactly what Deshaun says. Nobody wants to sit down and do their time refactoring into a new version. And we're both getting excited. We're hitting our microphones, but think about having personalized agents to go in and help you do these types of modernization things. Maybe you sit down for a week or two to get your agent perfectly tuned. And I won't say perfectly, agents are never perfect, but get your agent tuned and ready and prompted. And here's all the things you need. Here's all the tools you need. And then turning it loose on 5, 10, 50, 1,000 applications to get them modernized to the latest Java version using the open source tools and the real tools that are out there.
Yeah.
It's not just AI going in and doing things. It's using tools that the same developers would use, but now I can set it off on the side while I go and do my own thing.
Yeah. And I guess shout out to Corby too as well. I forgot to watch the channel chat, but yeah, I think we live in this age where we can build anything and do anything. So yeah, we got this. I've been seeing what we can do with just building the Java native, like CF native assistant, really, to use all the CF assistant. So, and I guess 2 services here. So I'm using Postgres, the SSO, right? Using the Gen AI model for all my models. I got Redis through like session state caching and thing. And right now it's using user provided service for secrets, although that could be plumbed up into a Cred Hub store too, because that's another thing too, is that one main issue is these OpenClaw devices is that you go and you give this device or this VM or this Mac Mini or this whatever a lot of elevated API keys and privileges, and then it's like, well, if that thing gets compromised, Scooby-Doo, somebody's got your entire life story, and that could be bad, especially if you actually gave it like your own personal stuff. And a lot of people will give it like its own actual accounts, or even it'll tell it to like go make its own accounts.
Let's be fair, it's not if, Nick, it is when you start giving stuff like that. It is when agents they're super, they want to be helpful, and they will do whatever they need to do, and sometimes they do things in a way that you don't want them to do. You got to have governance around this stuff.
Yeah, well, it's like I've seen a couple examples too, like something like my agent opened up a dispute against my healthcare insurance company where they rejected the claim and got it reversed. It's like it just went and read an email and saw the response and then read the documentation of the legalese and sent back an email with some C appendix B or whatever in this policy, and then it reversed the claim. And some other thing where they a guy had an agent negotiate with car salesmen about like, hey, I want to buy this car, and he at the end result, after a few days of back and forth of it, emailing all these pitting all these different car salesmen against each other, it got the offer below like $6,400 below sticker price.
Nice.
Or something. Yeah. So,
now the other side of that, did you see the story where the guy, well, it wasn't a guy, it was a team, went in and they wanted to do, can AI make us money? So they told AI, here's $5,000, go make us money by any means necessary. And it started up a scam ring. Did you see this one?
I've not seen the scam ring. I've seen a lot of threads about the money flow.
Yeah, this one actually started scamming people. It started up a scam ring.
I'm not surprised. It's like they'll do pretty much anything here.
Now, that's not to make people afraid of AI. Don't be afraid of AI. It just means that, hey, I'm not going to trust Nick with my credit card, and I love Nick. You got to keep an eye on these things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh boy, I didn't mean to select that. All right, I'm bringing up another screen here. So so I've covered let's just build our own Java native fork of it, or our own Java native Cloud Foundry friendly agent, and see what we can do with that. And there's also Corby, we've done stuff with Goose Agent as well, like a lot of things there too. But what if continuing down this OpenClaw dilemma?
Right? Corby just jumped out of his chair. Let's just add that.
This is and I would preface this: everything you see on this channel is experimental and just for funds, just for the.
I was going to make a comment. I saw some new tiles on there that I didn't know were there.
Yeah, everything you see here is not sponsored by my employer. This is just Nick's insanity. But yes, this is for science. Let's just say, I've been working on how do we. Okay, so OpenClaw isn't really a great experience in the CF ecosystem as a CF native app. Yeah, there's just issues. It's and it wants to do browser injection and CLI stuff, and it's just this is too much work, right? Now we have this thing called BOSH that's really good at deploying VMs and lots of that scale. So it's what if we just make a little BOSH release to deploy some agents, right? This OpenClaw thing. So we'll go in here. I love this little icon here. I don't know. It just Claude just found it and it made it happen. But so this is my experimental hack at building an OpenClaw deployment for BOSH and obviously the Tanzu tile. And we'll click on it here. This ops manager has seen a lot of abuse in the past few days, so it's a little slow. I'll apologize, and we'll cover that where that abuse has come from. So, it's in the middle of apply changes here, but I kind of have this whole flow of what if we were able to deploy agents on the fly, connect them to the Gen AI service, so I can use the 50 GPUs I have in my basement instead of API credits. Because I can't afford both. So we got the Gen AI configuration in here where we're picking up the offering name, using the CF marketplace to inject that in there. Some security and compliance concerns around you can run it in sandbox mode, you can block shell commands maybe we don't want to do an rm-rf / that'd be bad. Obviously, if you know what DDF, that would also be catastrophic to your system. Things like that. Minimum version of OpenClaw agent to allow. This is all just an experimental concern here, but a SSO integration too. So we're part of my first wave of OpenClaw integration was fronting it with the SSO Lite a proxy to allow it to do SSO.
And I'm going to interrupt you, Nick. I want to go back, right? So I love the fact that we've got the ability to block commands on here. I think this is huge. It's an eye opener for a lot of people, but I am going to preface, I do want to warn people. This is a great concept that's coming into all the agents being able to do these commands. Don't rely on it. This is level 1. This is a 4-foot wall, right? People can, agents can jump over this. We have seen agents go in and say, "Oh, I can't use curl. I'll alias that. I'll just do an alias of, AI curl," and then they get around it. So don't rely on this, on being a full blockage. Yeah, what Corby says, block shell commands. We'll more like the no fun police. But a determined AI, because it wants to make you happy, can potentially find ways around this, especially when we start adding in skills and MCP servers and things like that. I just want to preface, this is a great first level. It's not an end all be all. Make sure that you know that.
Yeah. And again, I'll preface this. Everything you see here is just an experiment.
Yep.
Throwaway experiment, most likely, because we'll see here that even maybe this isn't the best approach either. So talk about some SSO integration, because obviously auth Gotta talk to my SSO because I'm lazy. I don't want to make another SSO service. Service Burger. So we talked about, this is we're gonna on demand VM creation. We're gonna tie into the route registrar to get a route, agent prefix, route prefix, AZ, that type of thing. For the service broker, and then we'll talk about that. That's another thing too. It's probably on-demand settings, but we'll talk about the agent plan and some of these nuances here too, where we can spin up like VM type, persistent disk, concurrent sessions, that type of thing. Yeah. So obviously there's some like rough edges here where this is like some weird input here, that input validation that should get cleaned up. But what do we do here? And also too, like I had my first with this process. I've done a lot of Claude stuff recently. I had my first instance where Claude just we had a fight this morning, and I'll talk about that too. I have some images where another thing too to working with AI extensively to watch out for. So yeah, if we go into we'll see what this changelog is rolling on. It's on V7. I've got a Claude instance too running in the background here. Where are we at? We're on smoke test. All right, we'll see if it passes smoke test here, because I had it mostly working, but I was confused what was happening this morning, and I was just honestly baffled about what was happening. So, well, I guess we can come into that right now, where we'll go to the marketplace. All right, let's go to this foundation. Log in. Everything will be great. This is my dev foundation. I'm going to test. We'll just go into the. You can see this on here. Services.
Great naming, by the way.
Oh, what?
Test 125 test.
Oh yeah, this is iteration. Yeah, so this is iteration version 0.066 of the tile. We're currently on version 0.074. I'll talk about how that's happening here now too. But yeah, you would say, hey, I want to add a service. I want my dedicated OpenClaw agent. Yeah, blah blah blah. I'm not gonna click that too because there's an active deploy, and I don't know what's going on with that. So, and then if you go into here, this might still be working, and we could see it live where it lied to me. And obviously, this foundation's not exposed on the internet, so I'm not worried about anyone going in here and doing bad things by showing all these keys. But like, hey, I went and I got an OpenClaw agent. Yay! Like now I'm like, I need to get like kind of vend the agents, and obviously this isn't the great flow here, but I got to go and create a service key to get my route. So I'm going to get my dashboard route here, and this is going to be a test, Nicky, and see what's going on here. Anyway, watch it. Let's go into this. All right, yeah, this is great.
Boom!
Ooh, wow, OpenClaw agent. I don't know. Hey, how can I help you today? Hi. You're like, great. Right, like, and this is actually on a CPU model, so it's a little slower, but it still responds. Like, hey, yeah, great. Okay, well, I got a chat interface. Like, it's reading what version it is. It's a dedicated agent. I got an instance ID. This is probably the BOSH instance ID. Great, I got a chat bot. This is fantastic. I've got my admin portal. Like, ooh, I can see what's going on. I can run a health test on the LLM. I can see my log viewer process. I can read it. I see it. Like, I'm bound to the Tanzu GenAI service. Like, this is amazing. Like, this is great. But I'm like, this doesn't look like the OpenClaw dashboard, like, at all. Like, if have you seen the OpenClaw dashboard? Like, It is not this, right? And I'm like, what is happening? Like, and I was telling it to, like, and this is like wrapped with SSO auth and everything. I'm like, what on earth is happening? Because like, I kind of like what's happening, but this is not OpenClaw, right? Like, this is just like Bizarro Claw. It's called OpenClaw. It looks nice. I like the interface. I actually kind of like this interface better than the native OpenClaw dashboard. So let me find some.
I was fixing to say, this is just your agent going, trust the process, Nick.
yeah. This is where me and Claudius got into some fights this morning.
Yeah.
And I was
quit
like,
your bitching and just let me do what I do.
I felt real good. I was like, I got this thing's working. It's gonna be a sweet demo. Like, everything's gonna be awesome, right? Maybe not so much. Let's open up my Finder here. All right, can I get these screenshots? All right, so on demand and bit dashboard. I don't know. OpenClaw. I took some screenshots. So I'll drag this over. So then, and I got like, I've seen this before, and this is what this looked like when I was installing it on CF. Mm-hmm. But like, this is what the OpenClaw dashboard looks like, right?
Right.
And I had a little had to have a heart to heart with Claude this morning. I was like, hey, I see these things, but like this is what I like. I installed OpenClaw manually. This is the OpenClaw dashboard. I sent it the screenshot. Here's what you're presenting for admin / these 2 endpoints. And he's like, oh yeah, I just totally stubbed all that out and made my own version of this. There's no actual OpenClaw at all in this release. And I'm like, oh, you. So yeah. And I do have their. I gotta find this response somewhere. So
I basically gave you a wireframe.
Oh no, it didn't give me a wire. It built its own thing. Like it's an actual chat. Like it actually it made its own SSO proxy. It was like it built like a completely bizarro app, but it was not like the real thing. So let's see.
So images of HAL 5000 coming in, right? No, this is what I want you to do. I can't do that, Nick.
Yeah, and it's like, wow, man. So that's just like here. Let's see. I think
I will only build things better.
Is this a good one? Okay, this is where we can start this, and this is really what I could probably write a blog post about this or whatever. But yeah, maybe zoom in here. Oh god, I don't know. I didn't want to. Hold on. I didn't escape. I don't want to unzoom because now we can't read. But if there is no separate real OpenClaw process on the on-demand VMs. Our gateway CLI.js, this entire agent on-demand VM runs this. Here you go. That's it. No actual OpenClaw being proxied to. What you see is this, blah, blah, blah. Essentially, yeah. It's just like, hey, yeah, you caught me. I totally just yellowed this. That's the thing. If you do a lot of things with Claude, and there are some Claude MD files where like this, like there's like a post on Twitter of like this YC Combinator CTO uses this Claude MD file. And it reads really great. Maybe I need to do this, but it was like like a 20 bullet points of like, don't do this, like, don't make up code, or don't complete a task if you haven't actually completed it. That's some of that stuff coming on here. Like we basically built our own random Node.js proxy gateway with a thin chat LLM proxy and a web UI to chat to it. So it looked great, whatever. But yeah, and then we get into the plan to fix it here. I have that saved somewhere, and then we'll go to where we are with BOSH. But I had to share this moment. If you've done the Claude things, you just get a chuckle out of this. And more of a warning too, to just pay attention. So yeah, here's the revised plan after we had a fight. Here's what already exists. Here's what needs to change. Package source, the real, like the actual OpenClaw target. I'm gonna actually use the actual JSON config, and he wrote a bunch of Ruby spec too. If you know BOSH releases and that, it's like this kind of weird templated Ruby stuff. Here's I'll do the real everything basically, right? And we'll integrate that type of thing. So that's kind of how I got here. And now what's been churning away is that it's been executed on this plan. And let's see. I don't know where we are deep in multiple iterations here. And I guess it could command. Oh, it's compacting. So I told it to execute this plan, fix the error, and another thing about granting, giving the access to the agents to do the things. I had not, I've been doing some exploratory work and some tile work here, because there's some things that I just want in my BOSH ecosystem that aren't in it, right? Like one thing was like a replacement for Minio, since Minio kind of became unnecessary. How's Claude doing this session?
We've just been sitting there looking at we've been looking at the prompt here for you to rate it, and we haven't seen you do it. I think.
Well, I don't.
He's getting anxious.
I don't want to. I don't know. It's thinking. I just wanted to fix the issue. So I don't know. We'll see. But it's been rolling. But what really connected the loop here, because I would all right, build a point, make a tile, then I have to manually upload the tile, and then apply the changes and read the logs. I was like, man, this has become really really sad, right? So I was like, what is some bare minimum access can I give this thing? And now this is on I don't use this. This is literally a demo test foundation that I, was testing key script on, right? So I don't actually use this foundation. So I was like, oh, this is great. Like it can blow this foundation up. I don't care. I gave it the OMCLI because like, hey, you have OMCLI. Here's your config. Go do all these things. So it's like, oh, great. Now I can upload the tile. I can watch it. It really able to connect the loop on this build process here, where it's made multiple attempts. It's reading the log. It's like it's uploading the tile. It's applying the changes. It's watching the apply changes. It's reading the logs, and that's great. But what really got me is that it wanted to in one of these debug, like it was a couple days ago, before we discovered it lied to me about actually installing OpenClaw and otherwise just building its own little thing. It's like, hey, I want to BOSH SSH. I can't. But then it just kept working through it. And then I saw it run some CLI command. And then I started and I guess you apparently knew about this. I did not know about this, that you could extract BOSH credentials and all the keys needed out of OMCLI, which if I think about it, like, yes, you can get that. And then just started BOSH SSHing and then doing all the things and, going into the worker node and everything. It's like, oh man, it's like full on full story here. Now it's in BOSH doing things. And it's been fascinating, terrifying.
And that's the other great thing about AI.
Yeah.
This is YouTube University on crack, right? Because I've seen the same thing where I've fed it, hey, here's a tool you can go use, a CLI tool you can go use. And it comes back because not only can it read in the CLI tool, but it actually starts understanding all that documentation and like light speed. And it's come back with, hey, here's a couple things that you could do in the CLI. And I'm like, damn, why didn't I think of that? So it's a good way to find shortcuts within CLI tools or APIs and things of that nature, because now the agent can read these things in and understand capabilities much quicker than we can.
Yeah. Oh, and then not to mention too, to your point of like the whole block command thing. Oh, it's like, I don't have this, but I can do this and work around this. Or like,
that's right. I don't have BOSH SSH commands, but I'll use OM commands to get it around.
Yep. Yeah. Fascinating story. But anyway, so that's kind of where I'm at. I don't know, like, how do I feel? Is this even the right approach? Maybe. Maybe it's just better to have your own dedicated VM. I guess the unnecessary, in this whole OpenClaw scene, I guess unexpected winner has been Apple, where they just like been selling Mac Minis like left and right, where they're like, they've raised the price of the Mac Minis. I think they've completely changed their AI strategy around this now, where now they're going after more of the consumer end devices. They partner with Google for like $1 billion to like, which is chump change compared to get access to Gemini for Siri and all the things. So Apple may come out the winner here in all this space, where you had this consumer end type of thing go crazy, and everybody buying Mac Minis to install, run their personal agents. Not to mention too that the personal agents can use the local open source models, and one of the most cost-effective ways to run some of these larger, huge open source, really effective models is the Mac Minis with the huge chunks of unified VRAM, right?
Well, and let's think about that for a second, right? Because now we're going to see the whole RAM problem all over again, right? RAM prices went up because they're being sold for, non-existent RAM is being sold for computers that haven't been created yet to be placed in data centers that haven't been built yet. That's why RAM's going up so high. Now OpenClaw comes out, and all of a sudden we're going to see the same shit happening with Mac Minis, where you can't get a Mac Mini for less than $50,000 because everybody wants to buy these things so much. Yeah, because we're seeing this huge movement on personal AI, which yay for the personal AI and yay for all the people doing it. Boo. Mac Minis are such a great compute platform for the home user and people that want to get into this stuff. Come on, Apple, keep it where it's at. Just take the quantity over the quality here. Don't start raising prices because you can. Keep them down there where people can still use them and still be, affordable. That's the great thing about the Mini. It's a great computer for an affordable price.
Oh, I think even now, if you can get one, it's still at the current pricing. It's still a great device. Howdy, Keith. So yeah, that's kind of wrapped up, experiments where you can push OpenClaw to CF. You're gonna have some issues. It's probably not the best approach. You go crazy like me and write your own BOSH release and do that. And I think it will work. once I actually, after I've exposed all my dirty laundry with fighting with Claude and how it, almost fired it this morning. But anyway, fixing that.
Right.
Pretend.
Hold on. Another completely off topic.
Sure.
Keith jumps on and says, "Hey friends, albeit late. We own the channel, Nick. We own the channel for what I'm fixing to tell you. I want to write back and say, welcome, Keith. Better late than never." Right? What happens? YouTube rejects my comment because they think it may be spam. It's Cloud Foundry Weekly. We own the channel.
I don't
Come on,
understand.
YouTube. If I want to spam myself, I'll spam myself. I own the channel. Well, I guess technically YouTube owns the channel. We're just managers of it, but
yeah, they own everything. They own us right now. I don't know. But
yeah. But
I don't know why you can't respond because yeah, thanks,
thank
Corby.
you, Corby. What the hell? See, Corby's got us. Corby's got our bag. But yeah, I should screenshot this and send it to you. YouTube rejected your comment. This usually means they think it's spam. Try changing it a little bit. All right. Hi, Keith.
You know why? Why? It's because the Claude bots. The Claude bots have implemented. It's probably anti-spam. Like everything. The anti-spam measures have been going up and up and up. Although there's about multiple iterations where these things will just get through all of the "Are you machine" defenses. So, yeah.
So it's not Skynet we got to be worried about now. It's KuhnNet. KuhnNet went live on 11/50, February 19th, 2026.
No, I think the lobsters are still gonna outpace us all.
Grab people. Yeah.
I think the Mac Mini lobster army is we'll be going back in time where Skynet will just be like 4 million Mac Minis all across the world or whatever. But or the Mac Studios with 512 gigabit RAM.
All right. So another quick aside: how ironic is it that everybody is going out to buy Mac Minis to greet their personal agents when Apple has done the absolute worst at being able to bring AI into their product?
Well, that's been the thing that kind of was hinted at. It's like they're like this dark horse winner in this, where they kind of fumbled, and now they just lucked into it. We're like, hey, we've invested little to no capital. Our series strategy's been, let's just say, bad. Oh, great! Now we're selling Mac Minis hey, well, now we have a new strategy. Like I think I was one of these podcasts I listened to. I think they've even come out to say our new strategy is to go into this market.
Yeah,
keep doing what we're doing, boss. Keep selling keep making these Mac Minis and go more into that consumer space. To
we've replaced Siri with crab people. Yeah, that's.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing too, is that if the assuming there wasn't a crunch on resources, that would be that's the next relative thing is if local models to get to, and they there's a lot of people have really gone crazy in the OpenClaw ecosystem, have multiple models set up for all these different workflows. They get all these different agents. They got the whole virtual company, and they're bossing all these agents around. They have weird UI simulators of they're the agents are walking through a virtual office and going to desk and stuff, and just and you have the boss agent be attached to Opus, and it's the smartest, but then you have all these other sub agents are, I don't know, they're on a cheap model, but you could get to a point where the local hardware where you offload a lot of that work to whatever model you can run locally, and the Mac Mini, the Mac Studio, that Mac hardware is just it's a sweet spot right now for the consumer space.
I'm thinking about getting a studio exactly for that. And on your point, I interviewed Caleb Washburn. We all know Caleb Washburn, and he made a great prediction. It's a prediction that I 100% agree with, that we're going to see more software written in the next 2 years than we've seen in the previous 10. And I absolutely think that's true. Because this opens it up. It's not just going to be engineers. And, when you start thinking about, okay, the engineers, the talented engineers, what they can start doing with AI, it truly is going to bring in that mythical kind of 10x, 100x developer when they really effectively learn how to use AI. But it's also going to turn, me, Nicky Pike. I am not a developer. I'm very clear about that. I've created some pretty cool shit with AI, in my opinion. Now, am I going to turn it loose on the world? Probably not, but it creates my productivity. So it'll be interesting to see that even if we see what Caleb predicts and we see this growth of software, it's not going to be truly measurable, because a lot of that software may not ever make it out to the public eye. It may be something that's ran for a family or a single person.
Yeah. Well, and then I guess too, to come up on that note, right? So we've had the agents, we have Claude, everything. But when you're in that workflow, right? And my son is 11. He's always kind of, I guess, picked up some tech stuff from living with me or whatever. But he was, I guess before these and crazy and powerful AI tools, they were like doing like coding and Scratch in school, which was like drag and drop coding, and it was like it's fun, like great. He got real into that, doing some pretty cool things. And he's like, hey, like like this AI stuff's really kind of picking up, and I started to use Claude. He's like, one day I was like, well, what if you wanted to like and I may have mentioned this last time, but like I got him hooked up with a Claude account, and got excited about it, and now he blew out his $20 does not last long these days, so I had to bump him up to $100, and he still plans like a lot of his day around his $100 subscription limit. But he's like, he just wants to build some apps, and it's like yeah, like what do I do? I'm like, well, like gave it the like command sheet. Apologies if I already mentioned this. He's got a Mac, a little MacBook Air, the cheapest one. And I gave him, I got him set up with GitHub account and all this stuff, and great, awesome. And now he's just getting Claude, and now he got to a point with Claude where like it was past like GitHub pages level stuff. He wanted to do some like things with state. He wanted to, do all the things, and I was just like, well, and then it was started like recommend, like, do you want to sign up for a Firebase account and get all these? I was like, oh, hold on, son, I have something for you.
Whoa, little fella,
hold on. So I got a space with him. I got him set up with a CFCLI, and I'm like, now all you got to do is tell Claude is like, push my app to Cloud Foundry, use the marketplace for the services, and boom. And he doesn't know what's going on. It's like it's the quintessential like you just need to like from code to production, but like you don't really want to waste your agent trying to build all this infrastructure either, because he'd be really upset if he's charged like your Claude subscription got expired trying to build a Kubernetes cluster and deploy it or whatever didn't have to be Kubernetes, but it was just like, oh, like here's the one prompt, and that'll get your site or whatever you're making live on the internet, and you can use it, and you don't have to worry about it. And now you don't have to worry about it not working on GitHub pages because you want a database or whatever and all that. You don't have to sign it, like you kind of pass the free tier stuff. So then he started making these apps, and it's kind of full circle of like how like I think this development workflow will be. And obviously he's made a couple apps. I guess this we'll click on here. We'll show it here. I guess this thing, these they're called clicker apps. Like this is a thing with the kids these days,
right?
Where you just literally I already have a save, but we'll start a new game. You just like click on the screen, and I don't have sound, but it's making a basketball noise right now, and I'm like leveling up or whatever. You just literally I guess maybe more for the phone where you can just spam it and you level up, and like the point of this game is to get to like, I don't know, the max levels, and then you get levels by going to the marketplace or whatever. Did I go full screen? Did you do that?
No, you're still showing. I somehow
went full screen.
No, I'm still seeing us on the side. Your screen in the middle, like normal.
I got confused. I saw the StreamYard, but I forgot what I was clicking on. So yeah. Anyway, 100 points. I don't know. Yeah, level up. I don't know. Whatever. It's a clicker game. It's not anybody. It's got like leaderboard, all that kind of stuff, and fascinating. But he just it's just a few prompts and ready to go. Now his app's running, and I guess I don't know where this current state of this is. Oh, renew my session. Come on. But yeah, I guess that's kind of like the illustrating of like like the whole, we've seen the PaaS. Oh man, I keep doing that. I keep trying to click the screen, my screen and StreamYard, and not the actual screen. So we'll see here. This is I don't know, new project here. Okay. I just want to explore like where like it's a combination of 3D visuals and Scratch. So different projects he's working on. But I guess what I'm trying to really get with that is that and I will stop my screen share so I know what screen I'm actually on. The whole PaaS level experience in the age of Claude Code is still a very relevant thing, where you just like I just want this to go somewhere and run. Like, I don't, like, Claude can deal with it. And yeah, Claude can do a bunch of things, but I think that the more simple it is, the better it'll be. So maybe these paths will become more and more of a thing. I feel like it's a pretty solid bet it will, where, you know, yeah. But that's a quick aside. We've been over many things here. I think we can the little mini series on OpenClaw we'll kind of put to bed here. I'll update folks if I'm on run 75 of that tile. It's just working through things as it rebuilds.
Well, we'll have to get an update because unfortunately it's I got to run. Yeah. I've got business calling, so I'm going to have to run at 12 here.
Yep. All right.
I love this episode. We did a lot more back and forth on this episode than we usually do. I enjoyed this one.
Yeah. I did as well. So we will thank you all for being here. Thanks for the live streams. I'm sorry, I'm trying to wrap this up for you, Nicky. Like and subscribe.
If you
watch it. Yeah. And we'll sign off.
You don't want to miss what happens next with J Claw.
Yeah, J Claw. I don't know.
Because what you're saying about Claw?
The claw is the law.
The claw is the law.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, yeah, the claw is the law. Maybe I'll have J Claw working by
the
then.
Claw. The claw is the law. I said yeah. We need to. Okay, there's your next. AI's got to create that video for us. That music video.
Exactly.
Instead of the bird is the word, the claw is the law.
Exactly. All right. Well, without further ado, we'll do our sign off and then we'll let you go.
Yep.
Thanks
for
all
everybody
listening.
Who watched.
Yep. 3, 2, 1.
CF bye, everyone.